All right.
So
you should be unmuted. Let's turn this ticker off. What does that mean?
Tupper Jacks has
We
changed.
started.
yeah,
I'm making the music for us. This is our intro.
there he is, right there. That's you.
All right. So
You're there too.
that's not the three amigos. I mean, you're kind of like an amigo. You're my buddy. You're like a little amigo.
Yeah, you're over there.
Yeah, you're over there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You gonna say people hi to people?
Hi.
I get to wave at them.
Hi.
Hi. Awesome. All right, we're making it. Tommy, you making your way over here?
I just thought we had new Tupper Jacks.
Okay.
He's not on the
So,
phone.
introducing the one,
Well,
the only,
technically,
Tub
he's
for
the
Jack.
And Lieutenant Governor Ford.
And Lieutenant.
I can sit right there.
Right here on my line.
Okay.
Just kidding.
All right, so it looks like the three amigos have grown
So
to 3.5 amigos. Any little half
Amigos.
amigos?
3.5.
So we're recording. We're back. We're done with LibertyCon.
Oh, we're done.
We're done. We are back here in the in the house. We're chilling now. We're gonna give a little bit of report on kind of like our thoughts. You know, after day 2 of LibertyCon, we gave our thoughts on day 1. When did we do that? Last night?
That was this morning.
Yeah, this morning. Yeah, my bad. So I was
It's
like,
all a blur.
yeah, I know, right? Like this was such a wild and crazy weekend. I just couldn't
Got out of
remember.
hand.
Yeah, it was so out of hand. We talked to so many people, right? And so now we're back. We're going to talk about the rest of it. The bulk of it happened today. So there was a fair amount of portion yesterday. It started at about 5 o'clock, went to about 8. And then today it actually went from about 9 o'clock to
Right, something like that.
stuff like that. We ended up getting there late because
Lunch.
we were no, not lunch. Come on. We were getting there late
We
because
did a podcast.
we did a podcast so that we could let people know what was going on who weren't there. So we did this selflessly for you
Because we're all about the sacrifice for others.
because we understand the true sacrifice
Exists.
that exists and that altruism is real, which is maybe a debate that we had earlier about whether or not altruism is real.
I'm
Clearly,
willing to give.
I
because
am
I've
the
been doing
only
this for
one that
others.
understands reality.
And in true
I take
libertarian,
it back. One of the
we call her Dr. Parker.
Dr.
That's
Parker.
Oh!
Parker.
Whoa!
So
Yeah, we're.
I don't like that nickname.
She
When
gave it
Doc-
to herself.
Well, I called her. I joked about. Do I have a troll online? But
And she said
she
it's
said that's
Dr. Troll.
But I don't like the sound of that. So
Okay.
Can we drop Dr. Troll?
And
I
you
mean,
have
I
a real
said-
name?
You can
Dr.
still
Parker.
use Doctor. Just don't
I
add
said-
the troll.
I said Dr. Parker.
You did, but I see where that was going.
So
I didn't
anyway,
This is just the step before.
So,
Okay.
so we're chilling. We got our wine except for Tug because
and
got
I'm
water.
drinking low carb beer because it's cold.
I'm drinking low carb
Hey.
wine. Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, I'm watching my figure.
All right.
So and
Wine is
all
low on
right.
carbs. but-
So where do we want to start?
So
Yeah, Zach is drinking juice. It is just plain orange juice, obviously.
screwdriver, virgin
Ay,
screwdrivers,
caramba.
virgin
See, that's me
screwdrivers.
getting into my Miami mode, right? Ay, caramba.
You started almost speaking Espanol.
Something like that.
Are
So
you about to drop the curse word?
All right, gringos.
And
Let's
are we here for a reason? Because I
We
don't
are.
think this is.
Oh, all right.
Right,
so
right. Well, we're having
This
fun
is-
with it, right?
This is our circle now.
I was talking about the Supreme conversation.
Okay, so
with
lay
Spike.
out what happened.
Oh, okay. You didn't,
All right.
hold on. We didn't map out our plan. Our plan here is we're going to discuss some good, some
Yeah.
bad, some indifferent. How we would fix the conference. If they
I-
call us next week for next year,
Like,
oh,
what do you
hey,
guys
What do you guys do?
Which I don't expect that phone call anytime soon.
Nope.
But-
But we'll leave our number.
So there was a conversation, and the topic was vague because I don't think it was. We knew it was even going to be up for discussion, but it was how do we make liberty fun? And, right?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Right? Was that
But
But I,
not what
but I
the?
think they were
question
talking
was
even the
funny.
conventions and stuff. I think it wasn't just as a whole.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
how do we come together and instead of just sitting in this room talking,
Yeah.
like how do we do something and have
I think they were talking about when we gathered together specifically.
right.
And the irony of that is they were trying to say like, well, just getting together and talking isn't that much fun, and literally that's what we're doing right now.
But I'm having fun.
It's getting together, talking, having fun. So I would disagree. And if they would have offered a Q&A portion, I'm hearing myself on
No, that's
somebody's phone.
okay.
But sorry, 12 second delay.
There we go.
Tub is
All right,
beefing up the numbers.
I'm trying.
I would have said like you could still make the conversations fun, just make the topics more fun, and then stick to the topic. But because I was going to ask Supreme, hey, do you have a podcast? Because
So
if
first
he
of all,
had a podcast,
back up, because like I'm sure that people are probably like, Supreme, what are you talking about? So earlier today, one of the talks that we went to had Supreme. What's the last? Does that just?
That's one name. That's like
Supreme
Supreme.
I Self from Wu Tang,
Yeah, he's a producer for Wu Tang.
and then Spike Cohen, and their conversation revolved around when we get together for liberty, like conventions and cons and stuff. Oh, I guess the same thing. But when we get together, a lot of new people do a lot of talking, but there's not like a lot of involvement with like music and other things that kind of make the time together fun. And so that's kind of what they were talking about. And when they led, Spike was talking about like, we're saturated in speaking. And he said, but like for him, that's what he does. Like he doesn't really dance or sing or, juggle or anything like that. So that was the conversation. I didn't actually stay. I ended up going and having a different conversation with somebody else.
Well, and so I was just gonna say, like, that's what the topic was supposed to be, and then it really got into something totally unrelated to that. But not that that's bad.
So what was
it
that?
happens.
What was it unrelated?
Well, they were talking about coming together and helping each other out, and their personal philosophies on
Now,
how to do
here's the-
good.
Here, you know how you can tell if it didn't go the way it should go is when you're somewhat there after and you have no idea what it was about. Like, it was about it didn't go well.
Okay.
Like,
But-
here's the, like if you're sitting there saying, "Here's our intent," when
Right.
somebody tells you, "Here's the intent of what we're going to do," when they walk away, they leave, they still go, "Yeah,
Right.
here's what it was. Here's what it was about. And here's the premise." But it kind of got weird. So are we already in the bagging section? Or are we in the
Well,
what's
no,
good?
I thought the good part was that Supreme was there, Spike
Okay.
was there. They had a packed room.
Right.
That was I only went to a few breakout sessions. That was the most packed of any of the room. There was no seats left, and people sat there and listened. I just don't think they stuck to the
Okay.
original topic like they should have.
Right. And
But
I don't know.
I really enjoyed meeting them.
Okay.
Yeah, I've met Spike before, but I enjoyed meeting Supreme for the first time. I got pictures, and he is the kind of person that could. Spike's okay, but Supreme's awesome. But but Supreme's the kind of guy like though. I think he could help make it more fun. Figure out, you know what I mean? Someone used the comparing this LibertyCon to Yao. Was it you said? Someone said this was like if, and I might be messing this up.
yeah.
If Yao was like this
The working-
conference for the
It was like
working-
think of the working people. They're just kind of there in life or doing
Yeah.
things. He goes, and then think of this more as the learned ones. They know some stuff. They're a little bit smarter. They kind of have these things going on. He says they're just kind of different audiences. And when you started thinking of it that way, I'm like, okay, this all seems that because it had a different feel. It had a different feel from Yao. And so I kind of go, okay, you can clearly see that you're different. I don't know.
So is that why we didn't take well to it because we're not learning?
Yeah, we're idiots.
I mean, some of us are learning.
We have, the ones that you see off camera, the staff are
They're learning.
staff are way
What you
smarter
see
than
off
us.
camera?
Right. So they put the idiots. Let's put the idiots where we can see
in
them,
front of the camera.
and then we'll let everyone, all the smart ones, not have anything. You realize the smart ones aren't even paying attention to what we're doing.
I don't know.
So if we focus on good, if we say, hey, I like this, I like how this played out, I would like to see this in other places, what would that be? Like, if you could pick one thing, then you can explain it or whatever, but if you could pick one thing and say, hey, yeah, I kind of like this, and kind of flesh out a little bit, what would it be?
I think they had a lot. I mean, I haven't been to other conventions, so I can't really compare it to them. So
You went to Yao, like our
I didn't
state
go to Yao.
convention?
I didn't go to
Oh,
Yao.
you go to Yao. Oh, like state convention.
The
Ever?
state conventions are almost explicitly for libertarians that are part of the state party, right?
This almost
They're-
felt.
they're- I mean, it's not. I mean, it's open to other people, but
It's geared towards
geared
directions.
toward.
Mhm.
That's who the crowd is. This one's going to be a little bit broader crowd,
Right.
Right.
So the speakers.
So one of the things I like is that they had a lot of vendors, and I did talk to different.
that was cool.
And that was kind of neat because there were so many different vendors, and there was a variety of them. So you had like the Atheist Caucus, and then you had like
That was your favorite.
they had the Classical Liberal Caucus.
Yep.
They had the
good
Pro-Life
conversation.
Caucus.
We did.
They had the LPF was there.
The Sex Workers Union.
I didn't see that one.
It wasn't. What was the name of it? Do you remember? Off.
Was it union? They're trying to unionize?
Not necessarily.
What?
Something pro. Old pros. It is the oldest
Pros.
profession. Right.
Okay, that's interesting.
Prostitution.
Okay.
It's in the Bible. Go
It's
back
in
it
the
up.
Bible.
They had
It's
the
biblical.
Democratic something. I wasn't even sure if it was like liberty oriented because it was like Democratic something caucus. That's what it was.
Pro-life caucus. He meant.
Listen. Well, okay.
My good
We're
buddy
having
Dan
his part
Berman was
first.
there for
Who?
taxation and stuff. The
Oh,
yellow
the heck.
hat guy.
Also, Ideas Beyond Borders. I had a good conversation with him. One of the guys there was from, like, he's lived in the United States for 7 years, but from Mosul, Iraq, which I told him, yeah, I was there.
And when you look at those, So, and then you had like AFP and some of those other types of Americans for Prosperity and stuff. So, and then I think you had Cato and stuff like that. So you had some of the more like think takey types. You had some of the ones that like I think AFP tends to do some of the grading of different people. And
Shout out to Libertarian Beer Co.
Yeah. And then you had like you had a state party.
Dude, somebody tag. Who's paying attention so they can tag stuff like this?
No
when we
one.
say this?
Caitlin, hashtag Libertarian Beer Co.
Watching the Liberty. It's not.
Liberty is fine. Listen, you can't contain Liberty. Liberty will go where Liberty wants to go.
Pretty
All
much.
right, you let that Liberty run.
Are you saying Liberty is anarchist?
So
Trying to be.
Definitely.
yeah. So we had a wide variety. Like you had the beer, you had the so you had some caucuses that within the Libertarian Party. You had Libertarian Party of Florida there, obviously because it's in Florida.
Right.
You had some external groups that are doing their own thing. Some think tanky type stuff like that. So you had all these different groups in there. There was some somebody there was from like Monero or something like that, the crypto. So there's just a bunch of different things. So I thought that variety was really good, and I would like to see that kind of variety more.
It's funny that was the thing that you chose because that's kind of what I was thinking the whole time. Because
I'm sorry.
No. So you saw.
I'll take it back.
Go ahead. But the idea.
Yao had those same things, but I liked the mixture of tables at this event better than Yao. Yao, I don't remember.
We're not at the tearing down party.
Okay.
We're at the good stuff.
Carry on.
Okay. So, but I did.
I
I did like these groups. I did like even if I don't agree with them.
Right.
But clearly, Atheists for Liberty. We're not running in the same circles.
Saw you talking with them.
But I did. I actually had a pretty good conversation. I was like, listen, what can we work together on? Because I said, what if I got rid of the atheist part? Because you said for liberty. So for liberty should mean that we're running in some of the same direction. There should be things that we have in common. Because our goal is ultimately that we want the freedom of people. And so I had a pretty decent conversation with them. And I walked away going, hey, listen, I like the idea that and they were really just kind of saying, listen, we don't want faith to take over things in government. I'm like, well, neither do I.
You don't want theocracy?
No, I say that all the time. I say it all the time. I say theocracy is a really bad idea.
Really?
Because what happens when it's not your group that's in control anymore?
Well,
Now all of a sudden we don't like
don't
faith.
get in control.
Yeah, just keep it over.
We're in the wrong part.
Sure enough, yes. So inside of that, what I'm saying is I like those groups. I think that we had some good conversations with people that ordinarily I wouldn't have. Because I think I kind of like, well, I don't really care about this. And I'm like, no, let's specifically go get some information. And the one was the pro-life Christians. That's a group I actually follow. Yes.
That's called the pro-life caucus,
The
right?
pro-life caucus. Yeah, they're not Christians. Okay, so I did ask them that. I said, listen, let me ask you. I said, they're like, yeah, well, we're Christians. But we agreed that it's not just Christians who are pro-life. There are other people with no faith at all that are pro-life still. The guys that I was talking to, they were Christians. So that we were kind of going through that. And I like them because I think that that's an area inside of libertarianism that's getting pushed aside. Right. That's kind of the conversation we had a little bit. He's like, yeah, I said, it'd be nice to further your conversations.
Right.
Let others know that you're out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that can move through, that could be a need inside the party. So I really like those groups that were there.
I have heard from other people that the pro-life caucus has been very involved at national convention on the national level, getting delegates there, and a lot like an active caucus, if you will, recruiting members to join the party, non-visas, non-political stuff, but that they had a influence on removing that plank from the platform. The plank that everyone's mad at got removed. It didn't technically get completely removed.
No, they
Spike Cohen helped change the verbiage of the abortion law.
No, nobody changed that verbiage.
Oh, wait, yeah, you're right. That was the don't hurt my feelings.
They aborted that one.
Yeah. So, dude,
get it?
no, that was good. That was a good play on words. They aborted that one. They got rid of it.
Yeah.
So you're on board that the thing that you liked about it was the groups?
No. Yeah. No. Well, that's not.
Where's the beer? Oh, Libertarian Beer Company. There it is.
Oh yeah, I put it up there.
Very good. Okay. All right.
So, no, I was just saying that I had heard that caucus, the pro-life caucus, had a lot to do with getting that.
Yeah. He actually said
They're
that.
active within the party. Is my point.
I know they are active.
They're a caucus that has been around. They're active within the
I
party.
think I got mail from them.
You got mail?
I assume that I got mail because I was a delegate from the year prior.
Got it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
So we're good with the outside. And here's the thing.
yeah, the
I didn't
tables
watch.
are good.
I didn't watch a single speaker, so I don't know.
I saw like 5 minutes of John Mackey.
We saw the guy after him. We went in there real quick, like, hey, what's going on? And then we never went back in. And so I would say that we're not going to go to the bad area yet, but I would say that's definitely the difference between Yao and this one.
No,
Yao, we caught like a lot of the speakers.
yeah, we wanted to watch the speakers.
Yes.
So I can
No,
tell
this
you
time
why I
Do you think?
did
Okay.
not-
Yeah. Okay.
I can tell you why I did not watch too many speakers. One of the things that I like to do when I go to any kind of convention is seek out people that maybe I haven't had a conversation with in a while, or I've never had a conversation. And I try to find them and introduce myself, especially if it's somebody that I've had quarrel with online. What I was surprised
What
was
with?
What did you say there?
that I quarrel with.
Oh.
Oh, that's
It's
what
just
I heard.
not what it sounded like. And I was just going to let it ride. I'm like, whoa. all right.
Plural. Because I thought it was some term, hipster term. I've never
I am a
No,
hipster, actually.
I know what
I'm
you
a
thought.
hipster.
I heard the same
Kinda.
thing.
I feel like I don't want to be a part of this conference. I feel like
Okay,
I want
anyway,
to check
I'm
out
trying
what's
to
going on.
have my. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
So, so if I've had some beef with people, is that something like I'm trying to?
No, plural is the right word.
I'm not
We
even sure
heard.
if
Wait, yeah, quarrel. We're good. You said quarrel.
I'm just not sure what terms I'm allowed to use.
No, we heard something else.
Okay, I don't know what you heard, but whatever.
So you're good.
So that's one of the things I like to do. What surprised me was that I'm not super duper famous or anything, but I feel like I have a fair amount of online connections and presence, and so I was expecting to run into maybe a few more people that I have interacted with, but I didn't. I mean, I ran into, other than the normal
Some of
crowd,
them
right?
that you've ran into before.
Right. And so, so I was kind of out looking at, and I was also kind of getting a feel and the vibe for just the atmosphere.
Okay.
Walking by, just seeing how people are responding and talking, stuff like that. So I was kind of exploring in a sense at the expense of listening to speeches. And in fact, I missed almost every one of, all of Spike's, because I had intended to go to all of his, and I ended up missing all of them.
We missed the first one, correct?
Well, we missed the first one because we got there late because we were eating.
Lunch.
And then the second one, I left a little early because I had my little man with me, and we stepped out. And that's why I stepped out. I stepped out because a fellow, I'm not going to name his name, but a fellow came who I've been very critical of online, and I went out and I had further conversation with him, and we still disagree.
You want to talk to him? You want to
So,
talk to?
Um,
No, you pointed at that at the same time.
Sorry.
okay.
Oh, we're
So
good.
I had a conversation with somebody that I actually have had. I've been very critical of online. I don't think I've ever had anything nice to say about him. I mean, I'm not like this guy's a terrible dummy idiot.
So did something change in that thinking?
No.
Oh. So you're still camping out in that area?
You just went over and said,
You
don't like
still
you
suck. I still don't want anything to do with
Right.
you. And just walked away.
No, it wasn't like that.
Just you to
You're
know.
still a horrible person.
It wasn't
Moving
like
on.
that. So,
Reminder.
so check it for you right
Yeah.
We were doing
Just
this.
because we're
there. I
in
was
it.
hearing something back there.
That's our dogs.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a ghost or
The
something.
place is fine.
Testing.
That's
You're
your test.
testing? Okay, my
That's your
son's testing. I don't know what he's testing.
Hmm.
But,
I want to follow up with that.
okay.
I'm testing to see if this knife fits in the outlet.
Oh, okay. So,
We're
yeah,
close.
right. So, we acknowledge,
Yeah.
him and I acknowledge that it's a good idea to talk to people that you've had problems with online because.
Did you know that was yourselves? Like,
Did you approach
And then
him?
I did. And then I told him why I was talking to him. And I told him my intention. And I said, look, we don't have to agree. And we didn't. We ended up not agreeing, like in general. Like, I mean, there were some things that we did agree on when we were talking. But overall, we probably still walk away with the same.
did you walk away smack each other in the face?
Animosity
No,
towards
that
him?
was
No,
really
because
cool.
he's a bit bigger than me. So,
Oh, okay.
you got to be more mindful of this kind of stuff. You know?
Oh, okay.
You went up to the NBA player and was slapping him around.
I mean, I went up and was like,
Freedom.
I went up,
Mr. Freedom.
He
I went up
snapped
and I was
dead
like-
square in his hip.
I was like, excuse me, sir. I would like to have a very polite conversation with you that hopefully doesn't end in me getting stomped.
Was that the one you actually had, or with the NBA player?
Well, that's probably not.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that you
Who's
went-
this guy? You
No,
not
we're not doing that.
off camera?
Maybe.
Mute.
No. That wouldn't be on
Can that
camera.
dude just tag himself in the
On
comments,
camera,
please?
off
That was
microphone.
me. I'm this guy.
Yeah, like quit talking crap.
Okay, so that's all we liked about it.
No, I'm just telling you.
I like
some
hanging out with
highlights.
you guys.
That was pretty decent.
That was cool.
This part.
Yeah, there was some camaraderie there. I like that. Three
I-
amigos.
I liked LPF showed up hard.
Yeah, that was good. They had
We
a
had
really
a lot
nice
of. Well, it
table.
makes sense. We're in Florida.
Right.
Hector's from South Florida.
I mean, our chair is only like what, 50 miles away or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
For what?
Stephen
Stephen Nakai was
That's
like,
more than 50
He was
miles.
there.
Key West from Miami.
I don't know.
100 miles, but still.
Yeah, you
Okay,
Who's
100
counting?
miles, 50 miles.
I drove 500.
Clearly, I'm not down from that. But whatever.
Okay,
All right.
so let's do this then. What was bad? What would you look at and go, listen, this was just not good, and I don't know why they did this.
They put it in Miami.
For us, that's bad.
I mean, well,
You got affected attendance?
like if you
I do.
Orlando's Universal.
Either you had to
maybe it was,
fly.
it was literally right after a hurricane,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they can't
And then-
pull that part of it.
And then
Not yet.
Miami's expensive,
Okay.
right?
It is.
So I don't. I feel like I think we even though we got this Airbnb, I think we spent comparable to what we would spend going to somewhere else
Right.
and
Paying
we
for
weren't-
parking.
But we weren't staying at the hotel. So if you stayed at the hotel, right, or some other hotel was close, then because if you're flying here, you're probably not going to want to rent a car. So if you don't rent a car, then you're going to stay at
Yeah.
the
The
hotel,
Comfort
right?
Inn, which a lot of people don't
Like,
understand,
it's
was
right
next
attached to
door.
it, basically, yes.
I feel like that cost was a bit prohibitive.
Okay.
I had
Do you
in
mean
mind-
like, all right, are you saying if we had stayed in the hotel, it could have been better or worse?
I'm saying it would have been more expensive.
Yeah.
And-
Then the thing is, if we were in the hotel, this stuff here would not be happening.
This could
If you don't sit in a
happen.
hotel room with two.
Yeah. You don't got to
If we're sitting in a hotel room, there's just two beds sitting there. You guys are coming to my room.
Exactly.
Or we'll hang out in the lobby or something. Because
And so,
you're like, no, we're good. Y'all just go back to
You
business.
ain't never invited two men up to your room late at night.
we also, whoa, two?
I mean,
What?
Just
What?
two?
Oh, wait. Ken Billy. Sorry, Ken. So that's where
There's not going to be in here.
That's where Eric says this sucks. I
No.
had no men up in my room.
So it looks like we have feedback here. We got staff complaint. The hotel was not conducive for sitting and talking. Way better at Yelp.
And I think that just there's a lot of loud noises, conversation, not quiet places to sit and talk. So Yow was a huge convention center. Was that Gaylord Palms? Right?
Oh, are you referring to specifically about how the outsiders where you could sit down and
yeah,
kind of
you
talk?
could just go away from other people. This one you really couldn't get away. Even if you went upstairs where the bar is, there's still a bar.
And there wasn't a whole lot of
There wasn't
spaces.
a whole lot of spaces. There's like
I mean, I
random
was able to get away
chairs.
from people because
So do you think? Okay, so let me ask you a question though. If you got rid of location and like the hotel or something, what do you think about the conference itself?
Oh wait, I'm not done with.
Oh, go ahead.
Look, well, I didn't think we were done with location.
No, it's fine. Okay, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say like, I was gonna say the reason why we got an Airbnb for me and Cam is because we had our dogs, so we couldn't do any
Me
hotels.
too.
We're not dog friendly.
I have my dog.
My dogs,
I have my dog.
right? Got my
I
dogs,
got
right?
Okay.
Zach agrees. You did it earlier.
Oh, listen, early, I'm telling you.
all right. This is. Go ahead.
This is all free. This is all free. Okay, so all right, watch.
Huge
Right
We're
here.
at the art.
All right, so
walk.
we're at this art walk thing, and so there's a lady skating around. She's like in some
clown
type of
outfit.
costume or whatever. And so she's skating around, and Zach is standing right in the middle of the road, and she's playing with him and messing around. And all of a sudden, she skates off, and Zach's just standing there. He's just like just lost. And I even said, I said, look, as I'm saying it to you, it's like Zach's even looking like his girlfriend just left him. And then just as soon as that happened, he looks over and sees us, and he goes, yeah. They're like, he's like, man, my girl just left me, but I got my boys. And
That was exactly
like that
what it
was like so perfect. So he has his dogs also.
Right.
Your boy's got his dogs.
Do that.
All right.
What's up, little player?
There it is. Okay, yeah. Keep going. Keep doing your little thing there, Dad.
He's
All
got
right.
snacks.
Best of luck to you. Okay, so you were
So-
still talking about location.
Yeah.
Location is still an issue.
Well, traffic, Miami,
Oh.
terrible.
Yeah, and everybody knows it. Everybody here says it and knows it.
We bought a Sun Pass on the way down
Because
here.
you knew it was going to
Because we've been to Miami before. We knew it was like, unless you get in the express lane, you're going to be in traffic.
Yeah,
and
it's
even
horrible.
in it, because you remember the day one, like y'all left a little bit before us.
Yeah.
And then we took express lane. Did y'all take express lane?
I think I did at some points, and I probably wasn't supposed to because it's weird.
Oh,
Like when you get down through here, it's
you'll
weird.
get those in the mail.
Maybe. Add that to the. You're right. The Miami trip just got that much more expensive.
Speaking of.
Yes. So careful when you park.
Yeah.
Careful when you're doing things in you park because you probably will get ticketed. So you're right. You know what? This location's horrible. I don't know whatever made them think that Miami was. Now here's the thing I did like about it is it was different. Like I've never been there before.
Right.
So, but of course, I guess everybody but me has been to Miami. Like I flew in one time and then just took off to go and then drove down to Key, so it doesn't really count.
We haven't spent a lot of time, but we've been here.
Okay, so location-wise, city-wise,
Right.
I think that was part of the issue is that it was way down here.
Well, I think it was just the timing.
Okay.
Partly, and where it was. So
So what about the conference
right
itself?
after the hurricane? I think
Yeah,
that's
but-
a bigger challenge. I think the fact that it was right, it seemed like to me it seemed like dead center of Miami. I think downtown, right?
Well, it is
Yes.
downtown, but
So I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
All right, so what about conference-wise? If it's not about location, what about the conference would you go, hey, this wasn't that
So
great?
let me boast a little bit there.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
I'm
Because you usually don't do that.
well, I'm gonna
I ain't get a beer.
Usually you're
All right.
pretty, oh, see you later.
Okay,
If
so,
he's bragging, I'm getting.
So can you do
All
me a
right.
favor? He's gonna be bragging. I need something larger than beer, please. No, go. You probably had it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, do your boasting.
So when I went to Pork Fest a couple of years ago,
Is this the one you're talking about doing shrooms at?
Whoa!
No, he never said anything about shrooms.
Lord.
Or-
these guys, man, I tell you what.
They wouldn't do that there.
I can't keep it secret. So when I went to Pork
Oh,
Fest,
my God! You watch when people are watching this later. Watch how right there the comments pick up. They go out of control.
So-
Yes!
so when I went to
And what were
Pork
their
Fest,
names?
I went to Pork Fest a couple of years ago, and I actually gave a small talk. Okay, so they had like the big main stage where they had a lot of major talk speakers and stuff like that. And then there were other places where people were hosting smaller talks, right?
Okay.
So I ended up going to one of the parenting areas, and I can't remember what the title of my topic was, but I gave a title and I gave a little description of it. You know who Milton Friedman is?
Yes.
Okay, well, he's passed away, of course, right? But his son, David Friedman,
Okay.
was at Pork Fest.
That's cool.
I didn't even know he existed
Okay.
until someone was like, "You see that dude over there?" And I was like, "Yeah, who's that?" And they're like, "That's David Friedman, Milton Friedman's son." I was like, "Really?"
That's cool.
And he's an intellectual heavyweight. Okay, like you look him up, you check it, like you listen to him, dude, solid intellectual heavyweight. He came to my talk because the description intrigued him,
Okay.
right?
Not the title, but description.
An intellectual heavyweight that has no reason to, like, you wouldn't think that I have a whole lot to teach him necessarily.
David,
Right.
appreciate you coming to this
Love
podcast,
it, love it, love it.
and
love
look
it.
forward to seeing you in the comments.
You my
section.
bro, bud. You my bro.
Okay.
And
I'm
so-
the idiot going. I
So-
don't see David on there.
Now, yeah, right. He's out there. He's out there. I said he came to my talk 2 years ago.
God, all right,
Now,
good, good.
now
Good.
let me bring this around.
He's trying to
Because
get
where's the
something here.
boasting part to do with
So,
this? Like,
let me
you just
bring
want
this-
to share some random act in your life. Like, this is pretty cool. That has nothing to do with
Let
what
me
we're
bring this
talking
back around. I'm trying to bring it back around. So,
Was he?
I
What's
looked
with the
when
here?
I looked at some of the topics and what they were about. I didn't find that intriguing.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is the way they were described.
Could you
and
have said that
presented.
without your leavings?
You mean the
Could you
descriptions
have
weren't
just
good?
said,
No,
could
no,
you have
no,
just said,
no.
I saw the descriptions, I'm not that
No.
impressed?
You
You had to
This is
add
important.
your...
I think it's important.
Okay.
When I went to Pork Fest, I didn't know that somebody, an intellectual heavyweight would be there. And
Right.
somebody.
Sometimes you're better off. If you're going to go speak,
All
you
I
might not
knew-
know about that.
All I knew was nobody knows me.
Let it fly.
So I was like, let me try to, and I really worked hard to try to come up with a very creative and interesting sounding description of my talk. I wasn't making anything up. But
I see where you're going.
so I tried to make it interesting. So I'm like, we have people here at this convention who are writers and philosophers, and they've been doing this kind of thing for a long time. They should be well versed in doing this.
Yeah.
So they should have been able to write these so that some average schmuck like me would be like, wow, I really need to go to that. Because earlier today on the part one, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go see all Spike Cohen stuff, right? I ended up not doing it because something else took precedent. But when I at least took a first look at it, I was like, I'm going based on name because the topics, the descriptions weren't
So
motivating.
you said it could not. It might not have even been the discussion was going on. If they didn't
Right.
sell it well.
Now, let me follow that up. One of our treasurer for Duval, Joe Soper, he went to a bunch of talks, and I talked to him afterward. He was like, "Dude, I got a lot out of this. I really enjoyed some of this stuff." Right? So maybe it's not that the talks were no good, just that I feel like maybe they could have done better at writing a description and motivating people like me and maybe some others to say, I really need to hear this talk. Because maybe I missed out on a lot of good stuff.
Now here's the thing on those lines though, like for me, and maybe it's just because I don't keep up with a lot of those different things, I didn't know who most of the speakers were.
I know some of them.
Like they had their list out, we started looking at it, and I'm like, okay, and for a number of them, I actually had to go and look them up.
Right.
And be like, oh, hang on, look, who is this one they got going on here?
Right.
And I was like, all right. And now remember, I think that the main reason that I had come down was because with Hector, he said, hey, listen, this is probably a good place for us to be together.
Are you name dropping now?
A little bit, yeah. So inside of that,
And this guy Hector's
You
running
dropped-
for
hold on, listen.
governor of Florida.
you dropped David Milton.
David
Friedman.
Friedman.
David Milton.
Friedman.
All right, let's take that water away. You
Yep, I
got too
can't handle
much.
anymore. But you dropped that, so I
Andrew
dropped
Sauer.
I dropped some random Hector. Okay, so inside of that, I think that was part of the issue. Is like these people, I don't know if I know who they are.
Yeah.
There wasn't like this draw that I think that definitely wasn't yet.
I was just going, he's got a slice of pizza. I'm just kidding.
No, you're
so,
not kidding. You did get outside of pizza.
I was gonna say like and we'll let DL jump in when he gets here, but the anarchist versus minarchist was good. Not that I left there with my opinion.
Right, I didn't walk out going, oh, you know what?
You know
now
what?
that I
am
rethink
an
it,
anarchist.
yeah, maybe
Much-
I am tearing all down. Let's go. Yeah.
As many great points as Spike made, he didn't change my opinion. But you know, we're Spike friendly around here. Yeah. But that was a good one because one, us Libertarian Party folk, don't really hear a lot from representatives of reason, right?
Like,
People, people with Reason magazine and their website as
I
well.
criticize them all the time on Twitter. What you talking about?
Yeah, but no, we don't hear from them.
I do hear from them. That's why. I
Well, they
criticize
just reply to you in the comments.
No.
So wait a minute, if you knew all these ones, why did you even come in? Just
But-
away?
So this,
No, I wanted to. I'm trying to think of the last. I don't think I've ever actually been to a convention that wasn't party related.
Got
I wanted to come to a convention and get a feel for it. I was just a little. I didn't realize how few people I would actually run into that I knew or met.
You think that's also the distance too, though, and then it's not just because it's not party focused. Like I said, these
Right.
were people that are walking in
Right.
different areas. So let me ask you this then. Okay, so off of what we're saying, because I think, in all honesty, we kind of agree on the good. The different people there, the vendors, if we call them vendors, I guess, that those were good. We kind of agreed that hey, the thing that was a little less impressive was necessarily kind of the breakout sessions for whatever reason.
yeah,
The sessions.
even
they had.
the main stage.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's kind of like okay. Let me ask you this: then. So we do have the state party coming up, okay, and they've already started mapping things
State
out.
convention.
Yes. Yep.
Let me pull out my ticket.
And so he gave me something I can go pass out, and so I'm glad that they're releasing dates. And so let me ask you this though, because he even said he's like, listen, was it right? And said, listen, he goes, hey, we'll sit down and talk. What ideas do you have?
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, you know what? So if we were to say, hey, listen, we have this opportunity to speak into the state party, their convention.
Right.
What do we tell them? Hey, if you did this, and maybe we do a comparison of if we add in, you got it, there it is. If we and flip the backside of that too,
Save the date, 2023. It is April 21st to the 23rd. Get your tickets here, lpfcon.org.
con.
They're not conning you, I promise.
That's it's for real. So okay,
Right.
thank you. There we go.
Hey,
So-
you have
So, oh, how did you like that? All right. So in that, so how what would we say? Hey, here's a great idea. Now, I think that the one thing we would definitely agree on is bring in those vendors like this again. Try to have as many of these
So
as you
I
can.
don't know if I should. Anthony Welty was working the room. That's what he was doing. That.
Kind of
Trying
gathering
to
them up.
get them, hey, and letting them know, because you know the price for a table with this, so the people out in that room, I don't know the room closer to the ballroom, but out in the main area was like $650 a table
For the outside area?
yeah, for this.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Just a drop in the bucket. And anyone wants a table at the LPF convention, don't quote me on this, but the price should be closer to $100. So
$650 for real?
yeah, but you got to think there were they said around 500 people at this, which I thought was a low number for this convention we're just at.
$650
For a table, that's what I'm like. Yeah,
There's no.
that's what I heard. I didn't have a table, so I don't know, but that's what someone else said.
Okay.
Right.
So they would love to then basically get a lot of different kind of audience, but a number of people would still be there, and it would be kind of new for them, and they pay way less in order to reach that new group.
We should show off Melissa's new cup. Give a shout out to.
What are they actually? Okay, so
Fight the Power or the Cup people.
Hair people.
What's the name of their?
this is what happens when you
I don't know the name of the business, but I know that they sell cups at a lot of Florida
Is it
events.
Fight the
And they're
Power?
members of
I think.
LPF.
I think it's Fight the Power. That's one of their cool cups.
Okay, I think that's what she said. She's a libertarian and she's a wife.
Well, she's hasn't changed her party affiliation.
Defy the power.
Defy the Power.
Defy
The Power.
Defy the power.
Has these custom cups, and they're sweet. Like this is, my wife bought one, same style. Yeah,
And he's very much involved with
Much
with
bigger.
Brevard.
yeah.
With
He's
Lavard.
involved in the state party.
Yep.
Very, very plugged in. So I wanted to give him a shout
Little
out.
plug. Okay.
Defy the Power.
Right.
So anyway,
Okay.
sorry.
So let me ask you this then. If we were involved in organizing the state convention, who would you say we need these speakers? Like we need them here and because this is going to benefit a lot of people for very good reasons.
Well, I think you need people that are going to come and draw a big crowd initially on their name, right? So
Yep.
I know people won't like this. Some people won't. Some people will. But I think you need to start with some names like Spike Cohen, Dave Smith, maybe what's his name up in New York?
Larry Sharp.
Larry Sharp.
The same people that were at last state convention.
Right.
You suck, DL.
What?
Oh, the guy up in
I
New
had
York.
a momentary lapse.
Thomas Quitter, he was here. We get him.
So what I think
Shut this thing off.
I think those are some of the names that you kind of want to start with, right? I think you also want to, like, if you can grab, like, Justin Amigos. I think he actually is a good speaker. I don't know that he necessarily gets people motivated, right? Like, he's not, like, I'm not saying a motivational speaker, but I mean somebody that just kind of like, man, that was a great speech. Like, wow, I'm just, I'm excited. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna take down all the red light cameras.
Yeah.
You want somebody that kind of has that oomph to kind of motivate people. But I also think, because some of those names are controversial, like Dave Smith, right? You want to have other names
that are counter to
that I don't want to say counter, but that kind of balance it, right?
Well,
So
and I would say
that-
Justin Amigos
that
kind of
the
balances
people-
Dave Smith.
That
Right?
the people who oppose or don't like Dave Smith can get on board and say, I like the Justin Amash, or maybe I like somebody from Reason Magazine or somebody from Cato. If you can get somebody from Cato.
Rob Schneider.
If you can get Rob Schneider, right? Like, and I think for the small portion that I was in the conversation, or not in the conversation, but listening to Spike Cohen and Supreme Number One, get entertainers. So a couple of years ago, the LPF had, I believe, Lou Perez. He's a comedian, and I thought he was pretty funny, right? He had some great jokes. I think we need some of that, like comedy. Maybe if there's a singer or a musician or an entertainer, somebody that comes and juggles or something. I don't know. Whatever.
Juggler? That's what we're going with?
Yeah,
We've said
whatever.
this, and at that we need an MC, but one people like.
Oh my God! Oh Lord! Did you really just do that?
For
I
convention.
feel like I should tag people now. Like, hey,
No,
you
no,
know
all
who
right. So for
you know who you
example,
are.
like you. Now, all right. Do you remember how at my kickoff event you emceed and that helped out a lot, just keeping people focused, trained in.
But the same person.
And the same person, and
Right.
they did that at Yao, and I think they did that here.
Right.
Also, and we don't know. That helped.
I didn't really.
But
Like we guessed there was some
they
stuff.
did. They definitely did day one. But my point is, like, our state conventions should do that. Now, they kind of did with Anthony Welty last time, just for
But it's
like
just night one.
that was night one during the candidate thing.
Well, that's because after that, then you get into business meetings.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well,
You
yeah,
don't have a
But
business meeting.
remember they still had the sessions and stuff after they
Right.
get together.
those little breakout sessions or whatever.
So yeah, okay. So hold on. So let's address the bigger maybe issue with this. A lot of people who go to the state convention don't care about all of the arguing over one word written in the bylaws and stuff like that, and they let that consume so much of the space and time. Is there a way that can become, hey, anybody who wants to be involved in that, they're going to be over here in this room at this time. You interested people, go do that. And then we're going to have speakers and stuff still during
The issue with that is when there's a vote on
Right.
stuff that
So
isn't
the
important. but-
challenge with that, let's say that you had that's business versus pleasure, right? Effectively.
Yes.
So imagine that you have a couple topics going on in a couple different rooms. You might draw enough people out of the business meeting that you lose quorum, and then you can't conduct the business. So it's kind of a dangerous move, and I would
Meaning, like,
advise
if
it.
there wasn't something fun going on and a bunch of
Ultimately-
people set quorum, and then
ultimately,
something fun happens,
the,
and
the,
people
the
buy.
annual convention is literally it's actually it's a business meeting. It's an annual business meeting. It's kind of like if your HOA
So
Yeah.
has a board and they meet every month to make decisions, and then they have an annual meeting where all the members come in. Well, the members may be allowed to come into all the meetings, but they don't. But they do. But a lot of them will come in to that one annual business meeting. This is a very similar situation.
So what if it's okay? So what if this? I think we talked about this before, maybe even on your podcast, and we said, hey, what if they became two different things? What if we had one that was the speakers' candidates?
You mean like
Type
on different weekends?
Yes,
Like a bash, a
Okay.
convention, and then
Right.
a business meeting.
I
You biannual.
or what? Okay, same premise. Okay, what if we don't want to break it up to two? Because I understand that can be difficult and
Yeah.
expensive. But what if it was, hey, Friday night we're gonna bust out as much business as we possibly can. We're trying, and so then we can take the rest of the time, so it's not so boring, and say, hey,
honestly, there tends to be a lot of business. I'm not sure you can get.
listen, I've been in
No,
the business, and they're arguing over petty
I
things
understand
and
that.
drags it
Look,
out.
but look, there is a lot of business, and there is a lot of disagreement on what should the vote be. So I think because a lot of times they don't finish, they actually don't get through all of the business items by the end of the business meeting. So they get left
I mean, a
undone.
couple times I've gone,
And so-
okay, we're leaving early.
And so
everybody's happy.
you even if you start early, you may run out of time because people are like, well, we want to get to this other business items, right? So I think one
So what if
good
we
way.
do two separate things? Then?
So I think one good way might be say rather than do it on Friday night, start on Thursday night,
And do that type of stuff.
and then do a Friday where you have all these kind of breakout fun stuff and blah 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 blah. Then you start your business on Saturday, and then you might have some smaller breakouts for like people that happen to still be there. Maybe if a spouse is there or something.
What if
they-
you hold on?
they're-
What if you switch that around? Same premise. We switch it around. Business up front. It's
I'm
the mullet. Do
Yeah.
the mullet. Do the mullet convention. Okay,
Business up
and you
front,
do your
party
business up front on Thursday. You go in Thursday, Friday.
Right.
Do all the business, and that really
And then Friday night, party in the
It's
back.
on. Yeah, it's mullet time. And so that with that, if you do it that way, then here's what happens: the people who really want to be involved in that stuff, they're going to go early, and they'll be an active part of what's going on.
And
This is
They're
their
gonna
world.
stay.
And that
Yeah, they're gonna. Yes, they're gonna stay.
it might work. I mean, it might. I mean, maybe.
We just look.
You just got
Okay, bye.
stoned.
He's
All
like,
right,
"What's
so-
up, Dad? You see this piece? This is my piece now. My piece."
You made it fine. I'm
Yeah, it's
now.
that
I'm
meme,
yeah,
right?
it's
It's
that-
like, I'm look at me, look at me.
Look at me. This is
I'm
mine
the
now.
one eating this pizza now.
All right, so we have all of the answers.
Yep.
I mean, we just saved the LP.
I feel like you're trying.
I don't know
We
what
don't
we
gotta
saved
end in an hour, or do we?
I mean, Tubbs got some things to do.
Well, I'm not worried about that because it's still only 10:45. But
Okay.
here's the thing: I always look at who's watching, what do we got going on, what's the interaction? Are we just
Two people. What's up, people?
what's up? To people?
Someone named
You know who you
Tubb
are.
and someone named
Oh. I was like,
That's
yeah,
when-
he
that's
ain't been
when-
over here doing
That's
this.
when you were sitting. No, that was me. That's when you said
Dr. Parker, give
sometimes
us these
we
comments.
had bad things, bad posts.
So, I would say Kennedy.
Kennedy
Definitely.
would be a good person to have.
Now,
Because I think
she was at Yao, and
I've not seen her speak, but based on what I've seen from Fox News,
she's
she
fun.
does sound very exciting and fun. And so it'd be somebody that you
I was
would
gonna
you
say
would want to listen to.
get her to be the MC of the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe. I think that
And
might
that
Is
work.
there a
costs some
cost?
money.
I was gonna say, what is there a cost?
Well, because then you're like, hey, can you hang out for 3 days?
Yeah. and
Now,
as opposed to
You know who's someone that always hangs out the whole time, anyways?
The chair.
I was gonna say Spike.
Oh, okay.
Spike does that.
He does like he doesn't come in, do his one speech and leave like the guy that I fanboy over, Justin Amash. If you're in the comment section, but like Justin typically tends to like show up, do his engagement, and he gets out. Whereas what's cool about Spike is he shows up, which they didn't have him doing stuff all day today, but he got here yesterday. He'll be there, whatever. He stays. He did the same thing.
Can you
Yeah.
tag people?
No, I don't think
Tag
so.
Spike Cohen.
Because I mean, you might be able to tag him on Facebook, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure how that
I'm not.
works.
I'm not.
But
Okay, I don't know how it works.
oh, you just tag because I'm talking trash.
Yeah,
Like,
no, if you're
Timestamp trash talk.
Yes, I'm like, oh, just let you know. Like right there, I sold out
I
to yell.
mean,
I'm like,
he
hey,
ain't-
Larry Sharp,
I mean,
I
look,
always remember
He ain't
you.
gonna watch that.
Yeah.
Like, he gonna look and be like, oh, that's that dude.
Where's
that-
Spike though? Oh, Hannah Cox. Yeah. No, so Hannah Cox would probably be someone that could show up and speak to. Now I don't know,
She did
How
come
far-
to, I think, an LPF event.
and she was at Yale, so
Okay, so she was the yell.
I
But once
think
again,
she's
the-
I don't want the same speakers from last year,
Right.
Because those were good.
So you're saying that we don't
and,
bring
and
in-
here's the other thing. You can.
I don't want Justin there. I don't want Spike there. I don't want Larry. I'm kidding.
You
I
can-
want
Larry,
all.
say,
you
Larry,
can
Larry,
also-
Larry, you can still come, Larry. You can still
You can
come.
also find.
Larry! Larry!
Fanboy.
Larry!
I think you can also.
I am
find,
not Joe from the crack code. Larry!
What? All right.
I'm gonna get thrown at me. I don't
So,
know what's going on.
there is a-
They're mad at Larry.
Larry.
They're mad at Larry.
So I think you could also find somebody that's that maybe isn't in the liberty sphere
I was just gonna ask, can you get somebody who's not libertarian?
because there are. Correct. All right. I don't know what happened there, but internet
Okay.
weirdo thing. I'm not
I
sure.
thought they did. All right, you guys are dead.
Right, you're done. This is crap.
Yep.
But there are professional speakers out there. You're like, hey, look, come in and talk about. Our theme is fighting tyranny or something, right? And then you have a speaker come in.
That's
and
very
and
yellow.
then they come in and they're like, and you may not even know who the speaker is, but they're a professional speaker. You pay them like $50,000. Okay, maybe not. Because you pay, they get paid, and their job is to come in and give an inspiring, motivating speech. Now, you can run the gamut on price range, right? Like you can go and maybe we could hire Hillary Clinton to come in and speak for like $500,000, and I feel like that would probably be a bad idea. And then,
There's so many.
And then,
but you could also find somebody
Republican?
that nobody's ever heard of
yeah.
for like $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000, right?
I'll do
But
it
they
for
still
free.
I
must
was
be a
just
good
gonna.
speaker.
I was just going to say, like, hey, I'll speak for free.
Yeah, I'll do it for free.
Free. That's what.
Would you MC the entire convention for free?
Yes.
So, hey, tag Tuck for Jacks in the comments. Timestamp that. He'll speak for free at the convention. He'll
Listen.
MC for free at the convention.
I truly believe you speak wherever you can.
Yeah.
Wherever you get that opportunity, you take advantage. I've said about inside churches. Hey, you call me. Yeah, I'm gonna come preach your church. Wherever I can, I'm gonna take
Yeah.
advantage of that. And I think this has to hold true kind of to this too. You give me a chance to speak, like real speak.
Yeah.
Like don't give me 3 minutes.
You're MCing because you're used to public speaking.
I do.
You're also familiar with state libertarian politics.
I am now, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
And you seem to be familiar with libertarianism.
a little bit.
listen,
Dabbles in it.
This is where I will tell you, I've been in the game for a little while.
A little bit longer than me.
I-
in part.
Registered libertarian. I'm going to go back and look. I know it's over 15 years that's registered libertarian.
I mean,
I'm over.
I know lots of people that have been on their job for like 15 years and they still suck at it.
But I'm
Yeah.
just telling you, listen, if I would put why walk with libertarianism
Okay.
versus your walk. Libertarian. Is that what we're doing here now?
I mean, you can be like, I've been in the game longer than you
No,
have.
you brought that up. You guys just brought up the time. And I'm like, yeah, I have been in the game for a while.
Oh, yeah.
But you've been inactive in the game.
That's why I said I've been in the game with true libertarians.
Yeah.
I'm in. I don't do anything.
Yeah.
I just complain.
You weren't even talking about it.
Look,
much.
you wanna
were
compare-
just registered.
Look, we want to compare walks.
Yes.
Hey, you want to compare walks?
Go and compare
You want to
what?
compare walks?
You want to do that?
You want to throw down? Homie?
He is the white.
He's what?
All right.
Now he's white?
So he is not.
Oh,
Gotta get limber for this.
okay.
We didn't join until after I did, so I motivated you.
Join what?
Well,
Party, like active, you know.
get active.
No, no. I went to some meetings before you.
What
Long
meeting?
before you were.
What meetings?
Affiliate meetings.
Duval meetings?
Like libertarian meetings or
Yes,
just
affiliate-
meetings?
Hey, hold on. Tub.
The affiliate meetings. That's why I even told you. Jeff Hunt.
Well,
what's his
where?
name? Jeff
Who
John
ran
Hunt.
it?
Nobody knows
John
that.
Hunt.
Is that his name?
John
I
Hunt
wasn't
was
here.
years ago. Remember, this was years ago. I went.
I thought
and
his
they were-
first name was Mike.
They were meeting at Panera. And I went down. I went to like 3 of them, and I went to, and there was 4 of them.
I didn't get limber enough.
That's so like I went.
You getting drugged.
Hey, you know what?
I'm just saying that
You
I
got to
did
be
do
able to
that.
take it if you're gonna dish it.
Right. No, I did do that. It was that. Like I will tell
Right.
you, you've done a far better job with it.
Well, that's not what I was just trying to.
You're doing good, deal.
I was just trying to be funny. That's all.
Hey,
No, I
exactly. Give me a thumbs
that's
up.
it.
Make you feel better there.
Hey,
No, but for real, that I look at it and I do say, okay, fine, let's do something like this. Let's get the opportunity. If we get a chance to speak, we do it.
I do agree.
You know what I'm saying?
or DL could
Very much so.
volunteer to MC. How about this?
I will volunteer for a nominal fee.
You do
Not
not.
for free.
Let's not
I'm willing to do it
volunteer.
for free.
He'll do
Okay,
it.
well then,
Then
you have no choice to make.
You're cheaper, but I'm going. You might be cheaper. I'm trying to look for better.
Oh, so never mind. So you're out. You're gonna pay, so you want to pay more in
No,
us?
I'm kidding.
That's not a wise use of money at all.
No, like I think an MC at a convention would be great. And then, so, all right, a YOW compared to LibertyCon. I know we kind of got off the rails here.
No, we moved on to state party. Like how can
We
fix the
well,
state
all right.
party?
So let's
What can we
so
learn from today and this weekend that we can?
YOW had an MC. He was some guy that got elected to state rep. He's a Republican. That's the thing about YOW is they were election focused, right? Political focused. He had elected officials. Now, none of them were registered libertarians.
And
They
there's,
were all Republicans. Maybe there were some Democrats. I don't know.
but that's
but
why
they
our
were-
complaint against the state convention is that they don't
They don't
spend
focus
much
on
time
the candidates.
They don't. It's not about candidates.
So YOW was very candidate focused.
Yes.
It just happened to be
That's what they
Republican
do.
candidates.
Yes. But the thing is, so
They
that's
get
where
Liberty. He put his jacket on.
What is happening?
He's where's
Like
your
all,
tie?
like all of a sudden, they got buses out so that now we can respect it.
It's like,
hey, dude, I got a jacket on.
Listen, I've been here longer than you.
And if not, I wear a better jacket than you do. All right.
But so all right, I'm just going back to YOW because you and I are running for office. That might have been why we liked it a little more because they were candidate focused and election focused. Now they weren't local election focused. Doesn't sound like Students for Liberty are either. It's weird that YOW also had a big campus footprint. Their whole thing is like campus oriented, college campus oriented stuff. But Students for Liberty, with the word students in the name, I didn't hear anything brought up about their activism on college campus. Not granted, I didn't stay and listen to any of their conversations either. But you get what I'm saying? Like, you're called Students for Liberty, but what are you doing on the
But
campus?
you know what they did for this? They saw this time as a time of encouragement, a time of getting people excited about it. So it wasn't just always about training, because that's what they do anyway.
Yeah.
Like we are training or oriented.
And there
So
were
now-
organizations.
Yeah, but now they're like, hey, let's
leadership,
get together.
whatever, academy and stuff.
Like let's get together and
Hey, where you going?
What's there?
like,
It's going
am I
upstairs.
business?
He's like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, I've had enough.
So,
Okay.
and I'm cold, so I have to put on, my respective gear.
All right, Dr. Phil.
But you're gonna tell us who can be the catch me outside girl? The catch
She
me
wears a
outside.
jacket.
Huh?
Did she wear a jacket?
No, so I'm like he's Dr. Phil.
Oh,
And
you're
we-
the
we gotta
cat.
do it. We gotta
I mean,
do
you know he's had other people on the show.
No. Why? Do we really know that? Do you watch that enough of that to know that he's been other people on the show?
Look how
Sorry.
sophisticated DL is.
All right. So what we're saying is we're done here.
No, let's keep it
I
going.
think it'd be done.
We can still talk. We can still sit here talking.
What about
Yeah.
convention? Where we're getting some of that. State
Well-
convention.
So we figured it out.
LPF, reach out.
Reach
to one
out.
of these two. I'm not
Reach
down.
I don't know if
All right,
my
everybody.
tags are
Are we
working.
done?
We're
Are we
trying
good?
anyway.
Are we good? Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right,
Sign us
folks.
out of here, please.
Check this out.
Yeah,
It's
please, Jack.
super late. It's like 22:56. That's what it says. And so that's late. We're all old men, so we got to get our rest. Of course, that little guy back there, he seems to need no rest, but he really does. Trust me. So we're gonna be out. Thank you for watching. This was awesome. We enjoyed. We did enjoy coming out to LibertyCon. We learned a bit. There were some things that we liked, some things that we didn't like, and hopefully. People in power will watch this episode and they'll take a lot of notes and they'll be like, oh, that's how we're going to make our events better. So with that, we are going to be out and I will catch you guys on the regular show coming up on Tuesday. Have a good one.